Approval of the August minutes,
Great comment.
not July. Yep.
It was August. That's my typo.
Yeah, I saw that. It was.
It was the typo. Oh.
Got a call to order the September 25th, 2025 meeting of Bexley Zoning and Planning. Mr. Clayler, can we have roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Lassard.
Present.
Ms. Lettistack.
Here.
Mr. Levine.
Here.
Ms. Dorn.
Here.
Chairman Marsh or Chairman Schick.
You'll get there eventually. Here.
Have it.
So next, we're going to go to the approval of minutes. This will be for the August 2025 approval of minutes. Anybody on the board have any changes, modifications, or comments they wish to make? Hearing none, can we take a approval of the minutes, please?
So moved.
Oh, give a motion.
Seconded.
Mr. Lassard. Ms. Dorn.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Ms. Lettistack.
Yes.
Chairman Schick.
Yes, I vote as well. Now comes the time for public comment. If you wish to make any comment on the Board of Zoning, this would not be about any specific property, but on any prior meetings that we've had, please come to the microphone. Seeing none, we're going to move on to special presentation. Mr. Mayor.
I wanted to make sure that the members of the BZAP were aware of the land use strategy update. I mean, I know you're aware of the update, but its current status. It is now in front of council for consideration and adoption. The Land Use Strategy Commission did adopt it and pass it. And so I wanted to take a moment to just talk you through it and answer any questions that you have. You should all have a copy of this. Lots of paper here. It's all recyclable. But I know our council members like to have something they can kind of tangibly feel and walk through. This is also online on Bexley.org as part of our agendas as it goes through council and on the land use strategy landing page. And so just really quickly to refresh, our land use strategy was first crafted in the 2009 to 2011 timeframe. It quickly became sort of a blueprint for development in the city. The Bexley Community Improvement Corporation adopted it as their plan. So what they wouldn't, when they take action, it's underneath the broad umbrella of the land use strategy. And so it was overdue, I think, for revisiting and updating. And it fits within our umbrella of strategic plans that's, carried. The umbrella is the Bexley strategic plan itself, but the land use strategy is a big pillar of our strategic envelope. And so in the document itself, we walk through some of the purpose of the land use strategy, the public process that went into crafting it, the results of the community surveys that we conducted. And then we also did a market study that informed this updated land use strategy. We talk about what happened with our prior land use strategy and how we took the recommendations of that strategic plan and have enacted them over the past decade. And then it moves on to this is the market analysis starting at page 22, 23, just talks about fundamental demand based upon what the market wants in terms of additional additive restaurant, retail, lodging, medical, assisted living, et cetera. That helps to inform our strategic priorities going forward. And then core recommendations from our focus areas. In the initial strategic land use strategy, our focus areas were Main Street, Livingston Avenue, Cassidy, and Alum Creek as a natural corridor. This time around, it was a little bit different. There were some citywide global recommendations, and then we had recommendations specific to Main Street, quote unquote, west, the western portion of Main Street, which is roughly kind of the area between Cassingham and the creek, and then Main Street east, which would go from that area towards Gould. So we differentiated between the two areas based upon really the built environment, the geography of the lots, what you can and can't accommodate on the different depths that we have in those different areas. And then we looked at North Cassidy and Livingston, and we looked at neighborhoods writ large. And so I'm not going to go point by point over all these recommendations. I will say that first off, I want to thank my co-chair, Matt Klingler, who was co-chair of the effort before he was the building and zoning director. Got to continue that role professionally. And also Megan Meyer, who's our development director, did a ton of work on the drafting of this. It was something we drafted together. She made it look beautiful. And this was in-house, which is really cool. So as opposed to us like going out and spend $100,000 on a consultant, this entire document is an in-house document, which just kind of shows the talent that we have on our, not to brag about our staff, but we have talent on our bench. They're also exhausted. So our next project, we are using consultants, but, and it's in keeping with our initial land use strategy, which was written in-house as well. So breaks it into Main Street West and East. One of the major big kind of aha moments was inspired by Larry Hellman, who was on our commission, as he talked about the possibility of what could happen if Parkview continued south of Main Street. And there's some sort of exhibits that show this opportunity site and some concepts. What if Parkview came south of Main Street as Capital is, repositioning their real estate and kind of curved around to Mound? And we had a more holistic view of redevelopment on the south side of Maine, where currently there's a vacant lot, which has recently had some ownership issues that have been long-term plaguing that site secured, which is good. Capital University is interested in this conversation, and we're continuing to talk about that. So that's one of the big takeaways of an idea that we are already socializing. And there's some artist renderings that kind of show what that might look like. And then through both Main Street, East and West, there's a lot of conversation about activating sort of dead zones, making better use of public spaces. There's a rendering of what would happen if we had, for example, a pocket park in front of the Excel Karate space / Jersey Mike's. And there's similar envisioning of the former gas station site that's vacant next to Catalina's. That is a long-term project we've been working on. And then we move on to North Cassidy Avenue, where we talk about what was already started in the land use strategy was looking at what would a form-based code do to North Cassidy. We're already starting to see what that looks like with some of the new development being proposed there. This extends that idea a little bit more, talks about rezoning the west side of Cassidy, where it's currently either multifamily, just north of Rule, to be mixed-use commercial. It opens up there's some language in there that opens up the concept of maybe some of those single-family residential properties to the east of Cassidy along the alley could be rezoned to commercial in order to allow for deeper, more feasible lot depths. And that's new. That's some new language. And it talks about what is going to be going on with our infrastructure, where we're going to be creating some more sheltered parking, shared use path on Cassidy that'll tie into the bike path with Columbus, and kind of what would happen if some of that form changes along Cassidy. Some images of that. And Livingston Avenue really builds off of the joint Livingston Avenue plan. So there was a lot of work that went into that in the 2017. No, that's not. It was more recent than that, 2022 timeframe. So this is really complementing that. It's reinforcing some of the concepts, what that streetscape will look like. Livingston also has been identified as an area where there could be rezoning of single-family residential north of Livingston in order to accommodate better site circulation and closure of curb cuts and a safer pedestrian environment. So some of that's talked about, but again, a lot of reiteration of those joint Livingston Avenue plan concepts. And then we get into the neighborhoods, and one of the major recommendations did have to do with ADUs, and actually there's some good verbiage in there. This really was the foundation by which the ADU ordinance was crafted. It was just already written. It was going through the process. So the cart was a little bit before the horse with that, but that's okay. That's actually a success story when you have an idea that comes forward out of processes like that, and you have a champion who's excited to just get going on it, which is great. That ordinance has now been passed, and thank you again for your support of it. And it talks about implementation steps. Obviously, like if you haven't read this yet, it's a lot to absorb. So feel free to do that. Ask me any questions, me or Megan or Matt. Council, of course, has the ability to continue to, tweak some things. So if there's something that you see that you're like, hey, did you think about this or whatever? It's never too late to talk about that. So, and I'm happy to answer any high level questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I just have one quick question. So on like page 72.
Yep.
Where it says Responsible parties, are we any of these parties?
So probably, I'd have to look at this again. I didn't make this particular chart, but I think that you will absolutely be, so some of this would have to do with zoning, I know that. And when it
Okay.
says city council only rezones with BZAP as a consulting body.
Okay,
And I think, you know, in general, one of the reasons it's important for you guys to look at this is Board of Zoning and Planning does have the word planning for a reason, which is, so it's easy to kind of reactionary and looking through applications and thinking about that. But you all have a core function as helping us to plan, helping advise. And BZAP did have representation on the land use strategy, for example. So yeah, it doesn't go into such micro detail that, for example, there's not a tree public gardens commission one or, you know, ARB or BZAP, but for sure BZAP is embedded in some of these concepts.
okay, thank you.
Andrew Rosenthal was the BZAP member on the Land Use Strategy Commission, just so you guys know.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Well, it was great to present to you. Don't think I'm rude because I'm stepping out, but I do have to go. So I can go present this at another board meeting.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, guys. Have a great meeting. Appreciate it.
Quick thing, if you guys can review over the next month and then I attend monthly council meetings, I can give your any feedback. So just let me know if you have any feedback on it you want me to relay to council. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Moving on, we're going to do new business. First application is BZAP 2537 for 2324 Bexley Park. Applicant is Monette Friedlander. The owners are Christina and Bruce Frazier. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Ms. Dorn. I have to recuse myself, or I have to.
Well, I don't,
myself from this.
I don't see Manette in the audience and I've texted her to see where she is. So maybe we
Interesting.
could move. Yeah, they were gonna be here. And I know
They've had the
they're,
sign as well.
yeah, they're looking to get this done. So, just
we'll
as
get
a
this
refresher, the rules say that you may hear an application without an applicant here. That's in your rules and regs. So, if Chairman, if we could maybe move it to a couple here at last. I've texted her and said, Monette, are you coming? So,
Absolutely.
okay, thanks.
So any thoughts from the board on tabling it till the end of this? Okay, we'll just go ahead and do that. So moving on, second application, BZAP 25-38 for 246 South Dawson. Applicant is Valerie Hallis and owners are Mary and Michael Heckler. Mr. Valerie, you're here. Please step up. If you'd say your name into the microphone.
Green light. Yep, now you're good.
Valerie Hallis.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Klingler, can we start with staff?
Yeah, thank you. We've had this before you all, not this application, but this instance before you all last year. So in our code, we state that an existing non-conforming structure may add on to that structure if it offsets 8 inches. In this case, it doesn't make sense to do it. It's a small addition onto the back of the house for a mudroom. It's so minor that an 8-inch offset doesn't make sense. The house has an existing mudroom that it looks like they're converting to an office, maybe, that extends into the side yard by approximately 2 feet, 10 inches. So the current setback is 5 feet, 2 inches from the property line. So staff sees no issue with this variance. It's a minor thing. You can see on the screen, that's the new addition right there. And then ARB, it was on consent agenda,
It was on
wasn't it?
consent.
It was on
It
consent from
the-
ARB,
Yes, it was approved by consent.
which means it wasn't even heard at the meeting.
Not approved, sorry, recommended. to you.
Recommended to you all for certificate of
consent.
appropriateness.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Ms. Hallis, would you like to describe the project to us, please?
Yeah, basically my client is looking to increase the size of their kitchen, get an additional office, as both parties work from home, and we're just kind of constrained of where we wanted to do that on the site. And so We were just looking to extend and not have that 8-inch setback. And you can see that it's an interesting roof line that we're trying to achieve that matches the existing. If you kind of just go up, you can see the renderings. Down, sorry.
East side elevation shows it right there.
Yeah, you can see that it's kind of like a rounded detail. So going back 8 inches would be really difficult. Also with the detail that already exists, that we're kind of continuing. So if you go to the next sheet, A6, you can kind of see that a little better. So that the bottom left 3D image is illustrating kind of that addition portion. And then you can also see the north face as well as the front of them.
Thank you very much. Members of the board, any thoughts or feedback?
I think it
Very
looked nice. Yeah, I think it was good. Is the footprint not changing? Is that what I understood? You just say?
We're doing an addition that extends
Okay,
that.
so there's an existing encroachment into the setback and it's going to be extended by how much?
We're extending it by 8 feet, whatever, into due north. So you can see that the office space, which is currently a mudroom, is existing, and we're extending that to become a mudroom.
Okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
They're not encroaching any farther than they already are.
No, we're staying
Just-
the same.
Extending the encroachment to the,
Yeah.
Correct.
And our code says you have to offset it 8 inches if you want to extend that encroachment, but in this case, it doesn't make sense to do that.
Thank you. Any other members of the board? Matt, would you like to make
The findings of facts?
findings of facts, please?
The findings of fact and conclusions of law for application BZAP 25-37 for property located at 2324 Bexley Park. Based upon the testimony presented, the Board of Zoning and Planning finds it appropriate to grant a variance. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong. I forgot we skipped the first one. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try that again.
It's a variance.
I pre-typed my stuff and I forgot to flip the page. The findings of fact and conclusions of law for application BZAP 25-38 for property located at 246 South Dawson. The board finds it appropriate to grant a variance from Bexley Code Section 252.11E to build an addition onto the existing non-conforming structure without offsetting the 8 inches per the code requirement, and accepts the recommendation from the Architecture Review Board granting a certificate of appropriateness for the project as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Just very quickly, between the meeting agenda and the code section you read, it's 1252 in the agenda. I just wanted to make sure that there was no discrepancy in the,
Well, 1252.11E.
is that what you read?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Ms. Hallis, is that the findings of fact and conclusion of law satisfactory to you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, barring any last minute input from the board, can I get a motion?
so moved, Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Second, Dorn.
Mr. Klingler, can we have the roll, please?
Ms. Ledestack,
Yes.
Mr. Lassard, Ms. Dorn,
Yes.
Mr. Levine,
Yes,
and Chairman Schick.
I vote yes as well.
Motion passes.
Great.
Thanks, Valerie.
Nice to see you. Thank you again. Moving on to our third application, second for the night, will be BZAP 2539 for 884 Vernon. Applicant is Taylor Patterson. Owner is Samuel and Spencer Stasiak. Stasiak, thank you. Appreciate that. The applicant is seeking a variance from Bexley City Code Section 1252.1G1 to allow an accessory structure, decorative pergola on top of a fence in the side yard. May I get your name, please?
Taylor Patterson.
Mr. Patterson, would you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Mr. Klingler, can we please get the staff report?
Thank you, Chairman. Yep, this is, as I say in my staff report, this is kind of an odd variance because it's neither a fence that is it's either a fence that's partly too tall or it's an accessory structure. In the past, we have called these accessory structures, so I went with that. As you know, accessory structures are only permitted in the rear yard and must be 3 feet from property lines. This will be in the side yard as it connects, as it's the gate kind of from the front of the house to go around to the side yard. I gave you a picture. Thank you, Mr. Patterson, for sending the picture of what it potentially could look like or what it will look like. It's basically like a pergola-like decorative structure on top of sort of the gate posts. Staff sees no issue with this variance. That is all I have for it.
Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Mr. Patterson, do you want to tell us about your project?
Yeah, we're just gonna build a decorative gate entryway. A little pergola trellis top over it, over the gate. Nothing too fancy.
It looks pretty fancy to me, especially considering what you got there already. Members of the board, any comments? Hearing none, open it up to any testimony against this pro or con against this project. Seeing none. Mr. Klingler, you want to give us the findings of fact and conclusion of law?
Yes, Chairman. The findings of fact and conclusion of law for application BZAP 25-3988 for property located at 884 Vernon, based upon the testimony presented, the board finds it appropriate to grant a variance from Bexley Code Section 1252.15 G1 to allow an accessory structure decorative pergola on top of a fence in the side yard as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Any members of the board have any comments on the findings of fact and conclusion of law? Seeing none, I'll move for a motion.
None. Great.
A motion for or against this project? Okay.
Motion, Ledestack.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, Levine.
It was actually Mr. Lassard.
Or Mr. Lassard, thank you. Ms. Dorn,
Yes.
Ms. Ledestack,
Yes.
Mr. Lassard,
Yes.
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Chairman Schick.
I vote yes as well.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patterson. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Taylor.
Thanks for coming up. I have not seen our audience expand, so
Okay, so do you want me to read what the rules say?
please.
Okay. Attendance of the applicant or an authorized representative shall attend the meeting pursuant to the notice. The board may dismiss without hearing an application if the applicant or authorized representative is not in attendance. If circumstances prevent the applicant from attending the meeting designated in the notice, the applicant may submit a letter prior to the meeting requesting tabling the application. If the applicant or representative is not in attendance at such meeting, the board may move to consider the application in those circumstances where dismissal without hearing would constitute a hardship on the adjoining property owners or other interested persons. So I do have some background. I believe both the neighbor and the owner would like to get moving on this project before the cold weather sets in. Because it's a wall and it's an 8-foot wall, it does require a building permit. So they have to go through the building permit process, which takes even more time if you were to approve it and they were to move forward. So in my opinion, that would constitute, a bit of a hardship on the properties. So as you can see, it's going to be an absolutely beautiful backyard. They've already started sort of the stonework, I believe, on the patio and started some of it, I think. So if you would like to hear it, I would suggest entertain a motion, have a motion to hear it.
So I have a question. If Ryan recuses himself, is it for a majority?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for good pass it.
Okay,
Correct.
just checking. All right.
Members of the board, any feedback on what Mr. Klingler has said? Do we want to hear the item tonight?
Yes. Are there any objections from your side or?
No,
No.
staff has no objections. I'm not sure what happened to Manette, but she's usually on top of it. So something must have happened.
Yeah.
I would say. They've been eagerly awaiting getting this
Yes.
heard.
second it, the motion to move forward with it?
Well, is anyone in the audience that is for or against it?
Or.
Okay,
People have spoken.
All right. So I will read, I will give the staff report on this. We'll have you act as chairwoman. Is that okay?
that
Ms.
is
Dorn?
just fine. All
Okay.
right, well. Listen to
Um,
the staff report.
Yep. So they're basically redoing their whole entire backyard and sort of front yard. The Frasers are. They are installing a 6-foot gate on the front part of the property. Now, this is at the corner of Bexley Park and Drexel. So on the north side, they're installing a 6-foot. If you go up, Karen, right there, kind of maybe up. I kind of highlighted in another spot, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So do you see the yellow highlighted section right there? That is the only 8-foot section. So they're extending the fence farther up with a gate in front. However, that's 6 foot. And it's simply because both residents, I believe, have raised patios so they can step right out onto their patio. But anyone who has a raised deck or patio knows that if you have a 6-foot fence next to a 3-foot deck, you can just see over into your neighbor's yard. So I think both I haven't talked to the other residents of Rossler, but Mark Schieber and Manette both indicated to me that they're in favor of this because it would give privacy to both neighbors. And it's only in that small section of patio to be an 8-foot stone wall. Staff sees no issue with the variance. We think it'll be a great project. We don't have any problem with it. So I'll entertain any questions.
Okay, anyone from the board have any comments or questions?
I have a question. Matt, it seems to me that this is not visible from either Drexel or Bexley Park. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, the alley's behind. Bexley Park's on the bottom of the screen, so the house blocks it from there. And then they have so much landscaping off of Drexel, you're not gonna see this.
So the only conceivable party to object would be the neighbor to the north.
Correct.
The neighbor to the north wants this.
They have not reached out to me personally, but that's what I understand from the landscape architects.
And they were noticed.
And they were noted. They could be here if they objected.
I would imagine if they objected, they would definitely have been here.
Or we would have heard, yes. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any comments, questions? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to testify for or against this project? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a findings of facts and conclusions of law?
Yes, ma'am. The findings of fact and conclusions of law for application BZAP 25-37 for property located at 2324 Bexley Park. The board finds it appropriate to grant a variance from Bexley Code Section 1264.03A to build an 8-foot wall on the property line as submitted.
All right, do we have a motion? Or does anyone have any comments regarding the findings of facts, conclusions of law? No. Do we have a motion?
Seconded.
Motion by Lassard, first by Lassard, second by Lettistack for the record. And Mr. Schick has recused himself.
All right, can we take roll then?
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Mr. Lassard,
Yes.
Ms. Lettistack,
Yes.
Chairwoman Dorn.
Yes.
Motion passes. I will let the applicant know.
All right. Thank you, and
Let's see.
Yeah, it goes to a big debt of gratitude.
yes,
Yeah,
And-
I work with them. I work with them often. I'm not sure what happened, but I'll call them tomorrow. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
yes.
Just, winter is coming and they need a building permit for this, so it's not like a fence they can just throw up, right?
All right, our former or now, well, I guess, current,
We have other business.
okay, I'll just continue.
Yeah, just.
All right, so other business, we're gonna look at the review, the revised rules and regulations.
Okay, so I haven't had many edits sent to me besides Mr. Schick. Thank you, Mr. Schick. I think he got it to me the night that He did his homework in class. He got it to me the night that I passed him out the rules and regs. It was good. If you could all, I would like to at least hear from everyone, and I'll send another meeting out. Hey, I don't have any edits. I don't, and that sort of thing. And then there was one odd thing that came up. We had an emergency meeting. We did find in the code that we were allowed to do it, but we had to dig. So we would rather just have it stated in your rules and regs about emergency meetings and how we notice that in the appropriate process. So I'm working on language for that I can send to all of you. And again, I thank you for attending that emergency meeting for the ADU ordinance. It was very productive. So if we could punt this to the October meeting, I'm going to get some edits out to you all. And if you could just reply to me and say, I don't have anything to add, or send me your edits, that would be outstanding. That's all I have.
In number two.
Rick, could you turn your mic on? Thanks.
In number two, the second part in brackets, is that optional?
Number 2 on the rules and
On the
regs.
rules and regs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on section 8 right now. Are you looking at the
I'm looking at the ones you handed out last meeting.
hearing not? Yeah, I believe that is for like a time constraint. If a meeting goes past 11 and we
No,
can't
I
get
understand
all,
what it's
yeah,
saying, but
yeah.
is the intent that it's gonna be there or not be there? Because it's in brackets.
Be in the document?
Yes,
Yeah, it's there. You're looking at what are your current rules and regs. So that is the rule as stated currently.
And it's in brackets in the current rule?
Yeah,
How do we,
I don't know why it's in brackets. I didn't draft current rules and regs.
interesting.
I mean, in my world, that means that you're considering a change, so.
Gotcha. Okay. You guys are attorneys. I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an edit, right? That's something you can say in my world. We need to remove the brackets.
I see brackets and I'm like, somebody download this
Yeah,
from
'cause
West.
I like that-
Read through it.
I gotcha. Okay.
I like that rule. It's there for a very good purpose, having
Mhm.
done some of the 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I remember.
And Matt, it says
Take it
if
nice.
hearing, that means that an application?
Yes.
Okay, any other feedback from the board this evening, or can I get a motion to table this to the next meeting?
So move, Dorn.
Second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Klinger. Please call the roll.
Mr. Lassard,
Yes.
Ms. Lettistack,
Yes.
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Ms. Dorn,
Yes.
and Chairman Chick.
I vote yes as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Table the next meeting.
I see we have some guests in the back. Are you here for class or is it so? Right.
We would be in the same class, we don't know.
That's fine. Okay.
What class?
Public civic engagement.
At Capitol?
It'll have to say that.
Nice.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Scintillating topics, no doubt, but
Saw with the third application would never happen anywhere except Bexley.
Correct. And not an ARB.
In Columbus, they would have dismissed it in a heartbeat.
Well, we like to be kind to our residents and work with them. That's why we live here.
Second.
okay. Can I get a motion to conclude tonight's meeting of BZAP?
So move, Levine.
Second, Dorn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan.
These for us to pay.
They're good. And it's on the website too. And if you guys want me to say